Today we're going to look at formulas. Don't panic, it's not as bad as it sounds. It's going to be very simple. We're just going to divide by 2 and divide by 3. So we're going to make something half the size and 1/3 of the size. This can be really handy when you want something to be relative to something else. For example, in this instance, we want something to stay in the center. Before we get started, I expect you to already be fairly confident using constraints in AutoCAD, or to have seen all of the previous videos, which will have made you very confident using constraints in AutoCAD, I hope. We're going to look at how to work from a central point. Normally I prefer to work in the bottom left corner. However, in this instance, we're going to work from the center. I'm going to show you how you can use a point as a reference. Now, this is a point entity. It's handy because you can hide these in visibility. I'm going to show you how to change the name of a constraint so you can find it more easily. And we're going to work with very simple formulas. And just to polish it up, we're going to hide some of the dimensional constraints from the final block. To get started, I suggest that you use the reference file. Now, what's the first thing that I'm going to tell you to do? That's right, a fixed constraint. This time, we're going to put it on the point, because that's where I want everything to work out from. If you don't know how to turn on the point visibility settings, the information will appear on your screen now. As you can see, when I apply the fixed constraint to the point, because it's just a point entity, it cannot move. The next thing we're going to do is constrain the rectangle, as we did in lesson 1. I'm going to use vertical and horizontal constraints because we don't want the rectangle to rotate at any point later. I'm also going to apply one to the horizontal line because it will always be horizontal. And then a coincidence constraint to keep the line on the left-hand side of the box. And another one from the point to the center of the circle. I'm then going to apply a linear parameter to the side. As I create it, I'm going to manually change it to height equals 10. You can do this afterwards in the parameters manager, or if you select the dimension, you can also change it in the properties panel. I'm going to do the same across the top, and I'm going to call this one width equals 12. Now I want this box to remain central around the point. So I'm going to take a linear parameter from the point to the middle of the top of the rectangle. And I'm going to do the same from the middle to the middle of the left-hand side. Then we're going to explore the parameters manager. Now, this might look a tiny bit scary, but don't panic. I'm going to explain and talk you through everything. On the left-hand side, you've got the name of the parameter. You can double-click in the box and change the name. This helps you manage everything. Then we have what's called the expression, and then we have the value. What you might say is, well, the expression and the value seem to be the same thing. They sometimes are, but not necessarily. The expression can take in formulas. For example, I could write 1 plus 1 in the expression, and in the value it would say 2. If I wrote 2 plus 2, in the value it would say 4. This can be really helpful because then you can make one parameter equal to another parameter. In this instance, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the name of D1 and D2 to something that makes more sense. And then I'm going to change that so that the one that runs from the middle to the top is half the value of the height, and the one that runs from the middle to the left is half the value of the width. In order to do that, I simply write the name of the parameter, height, and then divide it by with a slash, and then 2. And then the same with the width. Width divided by 2. And what you'll see is in the value, it will change to correspond. I'm also going to repeat it on the line. I'm going to call it line equals, and then width divided by 3, because it will always be 1/3 of the width. So you can see if I change the height, everything changes. If I change the width, everything changes. Now, just to tidy up, I'm going to select all of these extra dimensions here that are dependent on the formula, and I'm going to hide them from the final block. Change show properties to no and number of grid points to 0. I'm then going to change the number of linear parameters to have 2 grid points, so that you can change it from either direction, as I think this makes a bit more sense. And just to finish off, I'm going to select the dimensions, and I'm going to select the grid point, click and drag and reposition it so that you can see what's happening more easily in the final block. Save the changes and exit the block. And as you can see, everything is moving around a central point. If I change the height, everything changes equally. If I change the width, everything changes equally and relative. I suggest that what you do is you experiment a little bit. Just start with a couple lines and make one 1/4, one twice as long. You can use all of the standard characters that you see here. And there's a huge list of more complex formulas that you can also do. I encourage you to explore it for yourself and see what you need. Now, the more eagle-eyed of you may have noticed that this is very similar to the geometry that I use in the Parameters and Actions course. I suggest that you review that lesson as well, and then you can compare and contrast the two different techniques, and you can see the advantages and disadvantages of each method. If you're enjoying these lessons as much as I'm enjoying making them, please check the link in the description. In addition to the free lessons that are available online, I also have a number of resources available for download, including written instructions, formulas, advanced techniques and tips, and DWG files to download. By supporting me, you're supporting learners all over the world from different backgrounds, different educations, and different starting points. Thank you so much for your continued support, and I'll see you in the next video.